King James
Dæmonologie shenanigans.
Daemonologie in form of a dialogue or conversation, divided into 3 books, written by the High and Mightie Prince James, by the grace of God, King of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, London, printed by Arnold Hatfield for Robert Walgrave, 1603.
Okay, Sha, you said a whole bunch in this conversation, but how can you prove that these magic crystals, talisman, or charms used in supernatural spirit work are actually forbidden? From what I know, a whole bunch of honest and happy men and women have publicly practiced some of these things. I feel like if you would accuse them all of practicing witchcraft, they would not listen to one word you got to say. Honestly, if you would have fully taken in the way I explained the word and how I used it, you would have no doubt about what I am saying. And you would not have been wrong about me like this. Just like no one can be a student in a school and not be required to respect the head officials in charge. It is the same to study and to also practice the art of circles and magic. It is only when a person actually starts to work the spirits that it is very wrong. The practice is what will cause the disconnect from God. So, as they read and learn the devil's training, they are then much more required to follow the devil as the head school official. If it is okay with, say, for instance, their parents to put them in school. So they would ignorantly follow these practices. This is how the devil pulls them in. They become trapped, as far as what God will permit, to fall into the devil's hands. These kind of folks, I must say, should be given the benefit of the doubt because they do not conjure him up themselves or use his services, as far as they knew, at least. In this case, they have never entered into Satan's services. But to speak truly on my part, I can only speak for myself. I am not trying to get that close to Satan. Because, in my opinion, our enemy is real tricky and we are real weak. It is only by the grace of the Almighty God do we get to beat such dangerous work of the devil as he tries his best to trap us. Ain't it the truth? Like the Proverbs say, anyone who would sit down to feed the devil better have a long handled spoon. But please, go ahead. Tell me about the art of magie or magic. The secret brotherhood. When they get really good at working this evil, whether they are educated or uneducated brothers, they get tired of calling up their master, the devil, using circles and conjuration, because it starts to get real hard to do and just plain dangerous. So they just enter into a contract with him, which has a specific way that it is done, with special magical effects. Please talk a little bit more, Shah, about these magical circles and conjurations that brings up supernatural sources and what makes them get tired of it all. It does seem like to me this kind of magic work would be less spooky though, you know, than the direct haunting and associating with a foul and unclean spirit. Now, wait a minute. It seems like you believe I'm a witch myself, for real. Or it is like you may be in training or something. Anyway, so here we go. I'll give you the good stuff. The long and short of it is that kind of conjure work, which are in specific books, that I call the devil's school, there are four main parts. Number one, the person who does the conjuring. Number two, the full on work of the conjuration itself. Number three, the words or chants along with the ritual used. And number four, the actual supernatural spirits called up in the conjuring. Remind you, think about how I laid this out before. I told you that there was no power in the physical circles or any holiness when the name of God is used in blasphemy. Neither whatever rites and ceremonies at that time are used, or the bringing up of any kind of spirit. You have to think about it. This is the father of lies, who basically, first of all, made up this whole type of work in the first place, calling himself as a commander. And will go past the boundaries of these spiritual orders to make people glory in him. Like I said, to make himself be trusted in these little things so that he can gain something much bigger later on, to deceive them and trick them in the end, once and for all. I'm talking about the everlasting hellfire to get the soul and the body. That lays the groundwork right there. Just like I said, now with the conjuring of spirits, at all times there must either be a few more in number of the people considered to be the conjurers, always passing the single numbers. And based on how good the circle is, which determines what kind of ghost or supernatural spirit is called up and appears. Two main things must be used: holy water. This is how the devil makes fun of the priest, and a gift of some kind of living thing to be presented unto him. And this is all observed on specific seasons, days, and hours as rituals, and they're usually already prepared. They have certain circles that are made. Some are triangular, quadrangular, round, double, or single. It is all based on what type of ghost or supernatural spirit they're trying to bring up. Many different types of circles, and all the different types of symbols and crosses that are either inside the circle or outside the circle or through the circle, a whole lot going on based on what that tricky spirit draws them in with. So many details in what they do. I would just leave those kind of discussions for folks who keep themselves busy with this type of thing. And it's all just a waste of time. I will touch on this though. When the supernatural spirit they call up appears, which does not take too long in these elaborate ceremonies, long prayers, chanting, and quiet whispers of folks doing the conjure work, and so on and so forth. Then, like a Roman Catholic priest organizing some hunting mass, I'm telling you, he appears real quick. Child, but if they miss one little word of all these rites and rituals, or if they feet jump over the conjuring circles because they got scared of a ghost they called up, I mean, he swoops in right then and is there to collect the debt. He carries them away soul and body. Otherwise, they would have tried to delay it all. That right there is just cause to make them not even want to participate in such a thing in the first place. I will leave that for you to judge. You have to think about it. Everything that goes into the work of it all, just like I said before, keeping up with the days and hours, as well as they put themselves in danger of missing the least ceremony or celebration ritual that is required that they observe. And as I said, this will make the devil calling a debt owed to him.